Welcome to More Than a Few Words. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And in this marketing conversation, I'm going to straddle the fence between now and 16 years ago. Because you see, my very first conversation was with Matt Nettleton, and he is back today. Matt is a salesman. He was my sales coach. He still runs Sandler DTB and makes selling sensible. But what I love best is that over the years, we have talked about marketing and sales and what's new and what isn't. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lorraine. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you back. And we'll be polite for a little while because we think the audience expects that. But we were talking before we started recording about our very first conversation. What do you remember?
Yes. And it came up in another conversation I heard you have on a different podcast where one of the most important things that you can decide as a marketer or as a salesperson is who are you targeting? Who are you trying to sell to? If your marketing works and you get that person into your sales process, do you want them? If your sales process works and you get them as a client, do you want them?
That is the hardest thing I think for business owners to wrap their head around is but they've got a checkbook. They
Yes.
they can pay me. And you know what?
Yes.
In the beginning, I totally get it. But there is that moment where just being able to pay you isn't enough.
And you and I have talked a number of times, and you still use the deer moose elephant, right, as a target. But when you start your business, a qualified prospect is somebody who actually has a pulse and can fog a mirror. And that's okay because you need money,
Yes.
right? But when you move into your business where it's turning into an actual business, those smaller clients to whom you are a great expense and they demand a high level of support actually become a drag because what you've said yes to with them keeps you from moving forward with others.
That is so true. We had one of my very first clients, and I love him, and my team would complain forever every time he called and he wanted something. And I would be like, but you don't understand. You dance with the one that brung you. And there is a certain amount of loyalty
Yes.
that you feel to the people who took a chance on you when nobody else would.
Yes.
Now, some of those clients I was able to sit down with and say, hey, look, things are changing. I can do more, but it's going to cost you more,
Yes.
or I can cut you loose.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to cut some of them loose, but it was really profitable to get the higher price from the others.
Well, that's the thing. When you keep them, you are setting the scope of your income and your profit, and you're also dedicating time to servicing them. And you just can't get there doing what got you here.
Mm-mm.
It's a tough lesson.
It is. And I'm going to go back to that whole deer, moose, elephant, and the idea that what is acceptable
Yes.
now is a deer. But as you move through your business, you need bigger and bigger quarry to feed the engine or make a decision that the business isn't going to be any bigger.
Well, it's you might have a size that you want to be,
Mhm.
and so you know that this is the type of client that I want to serve. But if you, I got a client right now, and we spent an hour strategizing over an upcoming sales call. And everything that I was asking, there was an explanation for. And I finally had to say, well, I got to be honest with you. If you land this sale, can you service it?
Mm.
Because it was so big, it would have grown their revenue by about 50% in about 60 days. And the guy said, no, if we land this sale, I'm going to have to go to my bank. I'm going to have to beg for a line of credit. I'm going to have to hire a bunch of people. I don't know how I can do it in 60 days. I think I can get there in 120.
Why
I,
are you chasing it?
I said, well, we just spent an hour strategizing on how to capture a piece of business that you won't be able to perform in the contract because you need to start and be at full speed in 60 days. I said, this doesn't make any sense. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they walked away from that piece of business. They're now up 30% year over year because they went out and found two other clients that matched their elephant criteria, their ideal. And they're like, this is much easier.
Allison Carter, who worked for me way back in the day. So here's this 21 or 22-year-old upstart who walks into my office, and I'm talking about expanding and adding more people. And she looks at me and she says, why? I said, so we can grow, we can get bigger. And so she says, why? And I said, so I can pay you more. She says, well, if we just raise our prices, you can pay me more. And it was this moment where I realized that there are two ways to growth. And one is short term more painful, that asking for that next higher price. The other is to continue to try to find clients at that lower level and service them until they burn you out.
Yes.
And it actually was one of the two moments in my business that really were really transitional. The other, of course, was taking a sales course with you.
Which I appreciate. But that's the question. Allison asked the perfect question, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. You should ask why. If you're calling on somebody, you should ask, why am I calling on this person? And
Mm-hmm.
I see it with salespeople all the time. They fill their days prospecting squirrels and rabbits while their managers have handed them goals that require deer and moose to actually hit. And
Mm-hmm.
they're stunned that, hey, my average sales $125,000. All my prospects can buy $5,000 from me. I can't believe I'm not hitting my number. Well, you're calling on the wrong people.
Yeah. You either need to have a conversation with your boss that
Yeah.
this is what you want, or you it it's harder to call on the right people. It, it's now marketing has got to be doing its job. It's got to be putting its best face forward for you. It's got to be attracting the right people. You've got to be reaching out to and connecting with the right people. But then once, well, you got to know who those people are.
Right. The example you always use is what, Lava Soap and Glamour magazines and Diet Coke and car building. It wouldn't make any sense. Both great ads, they're just in the wrong place, right?
Yes.
But once you
Yeah.
get the ad in the right place, then the salesperson needs to know where the ad's going and who the company wants.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, 75% of all business owners say that their sales pipelines are clogged and unqualified. And when I say great, do your people have permission to disqualify based on any criteria,
Mhm.
size, technology, whatever? The answer is almost universally 100% no.
Yeah.
So you have a bad sales pipeline, but you also don't give people the ability to say no, then you're going to get a bad sales pipeline.
Well, and I used to put my sales pipeline on this giant whiteboard in my office. And the two favorite things to do, one was to obviously check off when it became a sale and star it in green. But the other one was to let it go. In that moment where I realized this ain't happening and
Yeah.
it's okay. Because as soon as I did that and I cleared that space, you know what? There was room on that board for somebody else.
Yeah. Which is what you need.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah. Because it's an illusion and it's a distortion, and you know what, Matt? It's so funny because We were talking about this 15 years ago. And if we're both still hanging around doing this stuff, we'll be talking about it in 15 more years. And if we're both still hanging around doing this stuff, we'll be talking about it in 15 more years.
I think there's so much data and so much noise available to everybody that if you don't have something to focus on,
Mm-hmm.
it it will absolutely um, it will overwhelm you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never win,
Nope.
and that's the bad part about just wandering into the sales process and hoping for the best.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
you've got to have revenue,
Mm-hmm.
but if you want to be successful in the worst possible way, you probably will be.
And on that
So
note, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to pause. This has been a fabulous conversation with Matt Nettleton. If you would like to know more about Matt, look for him on LinkedIn. He's very active there. And also at Sandler DTB,
no, it's go.sandler.com/DTB
go.sandler.com/DTB.
/DTB.
Awesome. Matt, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me, Lorraine. Always good to be back.
I'll have you back again soon. And if you've enjoyed this conversation and want to find other conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to More Than a Few Words wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.